Hey, listen, let's let those notifications go out. Oh my goodness, y'all. Let me tell you, I'm gonna move this a little bit. There we go. So that I'm a bit more centered here. All right, let those notifications go out. We got a lot to unpack today. And yes, I put a funny in the description below. I couldn't resist. God put on my hey, listen, God has a sense of humor, y'all. Seriously. And yes, we're going to get to it. We are going to get to it. But as usual, let me go ahead and do our sound check, and then I will get the formalities out of the way. That's right. The enemy been trying to trick us into thinking that, oh, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you know what? I'm like, these platforms don't care about us, y'all. Come on now. They don't. All they want is for us to keep that content coming. That's it. For content creators. They don't. Yeah, they don't. These platforms, y'all, seriously, they don't care. They do not care about us as people. No. They just want to keep people on their platforms. A, for more radio frequency exposure, and then B, subliminal messaging. So yeah, I'm going to be sipping on some of my homemade pineapple juice. Yeah, for those who don't know, pineapples has bromelain, which is a natural and necessary ingredient to help digest and process proteins. And the best way to get it is pineapples and pineapple juice. And I highly encourage y'all to make your own. Because if you look at the ingredients on some juices, you get my drift. Okay? And then there's probably going to be a bunch of salt in it. Come on now. Added sugars. Salt and sugar. Bad for. Ooh. You want to talk about getting extra mucus up there? Go ahead and eat more salt and sugar. Boy, that clouds that brain real fast. All right, I am Michelle Dickey, your host for CHA's Let's Just Chat show. Streaming on the YouTube channel, Narcissism and Cognitive Dissonance, where trauma healing and spiritual growth are front and center. Trauma healing and spiritual growth occur with God's wisdom, basic scientific facts, tried and true techniques, and more here and at CHAAcademyBTBW.com. That link is also in the video description below for quicker access for you all to check out what the Academy has to offer you to help you level up your trauma healing and spiritual growth. All right, let's dive into it. Okay, I got a couple of things God revealed to me, and I'm going to go ahead and bring it here. For anyone who catches episode 11 of the CHA show, somewhere towards the end, you'll see me turn and then do a reflex that is associated with fear. I need to go ahead and let y'all know something. Yeah, we're not living in fear. But what's happening during the recovery process, okay, as the parasympathetic nervous system is learning how to relax after the physical assault. Okay, so it takes time for all of that. But we are still, yes, we are connected in mind, body, and spirit. The devil could not separate that. One Holy Spirit activated subconscious is awake. That's it. We get it together and we stay together. We're still emotionally regulated. However, here's what's happening, and God revealed this to me. And he wants me to get this out here first, and then we're going to dive into the matrix, and it's bribery stuff, because that is narcissism in action right there. And we at Consulting for Heightened Awareness, we do not operate that way. We refuse. That's conforming to the world. If we take on that side of marketing, that's wrong. That's wrong. So what he revealed to me today, because I was asking him, I was like, there was another part of my my body that I kept noticing. Why do I keep doing that? Like, tensing up, whatever. And I was like, I'm aware of it. But I was like, why? Because we know, and God knows, that it's like, I'm not living in fear, because you can't live in fear and live and walk by faith at the same time. No, that's a double standard. You can't do it. It doesn't work that way. And so God revealed to me, he said, well, think about it. Remember how we learn, right? Okay, let's get the Bible verse that goes with it, okay? Because let's see, yeah, okay, 2 Corinthians. Let's get it because it makes, oh my gosh, this just puts it into perspective, so so clear. And because think about uh, your autonomic nervous system is automatic, right? It's going to do things automatically. We don't even have to think about it. I learned that during my trauma training, you all, and it's very true because that system, it just does it knows what to do, right? It has its responses, okay? And so the parasympathetic nervous system, also known as the peripheral nervous system, also knows certain responses and reflexes, right? Okay, so I want to make sure I'm getting the right one here. Yes, it is. Okay, well, I'm not, yeah, that's not the right one. I'm trying to think now. It was, hold up. I'm going to find it, but I'm going to go ahead and keep talking here. That our parasympathetic nervous system, whenever we undergo, whether it be a physical assault, unfortunately, with no physical evidence, y'all, seriously, okay, there was no physical evidence. And you know how the world operates, but still, it's out there. Oh, she knows what she did or tried to do. But anyhow, what happens is that when the parasympathetic nervous system gets a good jolt like that, it's going to tense up automatically because it's part of the autonomic nervous system, which is automatic, right? It's going to tense up. Even though me, as the human and spirit, walking in spirit, we're not tense, but the parasympathetic nervous system doesn't know that. Let that sink in. The parasympathetic system does not know that, okay? That nervous system does not know that we, as spirit, okay, it is, okay, I got to discern. Let's see, okay, that should be easy enough for me to find it. I know it's in Corinthians 1 or 2, somewhere there. And so because it is, yeah, there we go. Thank you. I knew it was chapter 2, but it's 1 Corinthians 2, verse 14. Remember, there's narcissists, the spiritually dead out here. They cannot spiritually discern. Hey, Chris, welcome. I'm glad you can make it to get this because this was a huge God revelation to me this morning. All right. Well, that kind of shock to the nervous system could cause that. What a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So I ain't telling myself that stuff. Heck no. Because we good. We good. I am healthy. Right? Positive talk over ourselves. Yeah, I don't conform to the world's health labels, if you will. Like that. I don't. Okay, 1 Corinthians 2:14 tells us that, but the natural man receiveth not the things of the Spirit of God. Let's put that into perspective when we're talking about this. Okay, because inside that matrix, see, listen, the matrix wants to go. Well, yeah, I was like, gotta purge that subconscious, right? Okay, because it's that powerful. Right, so we have to remember we separating, okay, the spiritual and the physical, right? Once we get that balance, for those of you who have not gotten there yet, I'm telling you, this is what's going to happen. You will make it. You just got to keep going, okay? Got to tickle. All right, but seriously, because our nervous system knows, it's got its own memory. Just like our muscles have muscle memory. That's why God told me, he was like, honey child, get back on that treadmill. He said, let me show you something. Oh, he's showing me. All right, now. So Yeah, that's part of the value. Okay, with this place, I have access to workout room when it's raining outside. So that being said, as God revealed this to me, and so I'm in here, and I was like, I felt myself doing what would be known as a um, natural response to fear, right? Where your bottom muscles tense up and they tighten up, right? And I noticed that. I said, why do they keep doing? I said, why do I keep doing that? And God said, well, honey child, because your parasympathetic nervous system doesn't know that you are not living in fear. Think about that. Because our physical body, okay, is natural man receiveth not the things of the Spirit of God. So because we are walking in spirit and walking and living by faith, we know we have nothing to fear because God is a promise keeper. But the physical, the natural body, natural man, does not know that. So the parasympathetic nervous system does not know that our spirit, okay, the Spirit of God on the inside of us, it doesn't even know that it's there. The parasympathetic nervous system, your autonomic nervous system, your whole nervous system does not know that the Godhead is inside of us. I'm gonna let that sink in. Delayed reaction. Yeah, see, that's kind of what was right, exactly, because when I turned yesterday evening, when I turned and looked, I was not expecting, okay, I was not expecting to do that. And so, without it, because we're so engrossed in what we're working on, that it slipped my mind. I've got a blue curtain hanging there. And so I wasn't expecting to see that. Right? Yeah, it's just a temporary, kind of like, I'll give you another example because so the nervous system did a normal response of a kind of like a jerk, like, oh, but that would look as though something scared me. It didn't. That's just a normal nervous system response to coming over. Oh, okay, that's there. To remind us. Same thing with my sink, okay? The drain, right? I need to clean my sink, so I have some water and pour a little bleach in there and let it soak, right? Put makeup, okay, you get the drift. All right, and the best way to clean that is with some bleach water. All right, because when that makeup gets in there, it's gonna take too many wipes, yeah. Never mind. That's just the easiest way. So I pull the plug down, right? And because that's the first time that I was going to go ahead and do. I had been using the wipes, okay? So this is the first time I said, hey, you just save your wipe. Just, you got some bleach, go, water, fill it up. First time I had done that since being here because I've been cleaning it other ways. And so I put the plug down. Now it's an automatic, right? It's not one that you have, some things have that thing that on the back where you push to open the drain. Now this one just has a, it's like you press it down and close it. And then to open it back up, you just press it again and it pops back up. Now, mind you, I didn't know that because I had not done this before. So I did not know, right? I wasn't expecting, because when I pushed it down, okay, there was only about that much space, right? Okay, so that's what I would be expecting to see when it comes back up. No, when it came back up double. It did. Yeah, because I went, oh, I was not expecting that. That is a normal response, not out of fear. It would look that way. It appears that way, but it's a normal response because I wasn't expecting it. I was only thinking I was going to see it come back up the same amount as it went down. So now I know better. All right, so there you go. That's just some example. And so what happened is, I said to God, I was like, okay, we got to quit doing this. And he said, okay, so every time you notice yourself doing that, mental and physical activity this time, right? This is not, that has nothing to do with spiritual. You see, because the parasympathetic nervous system does not know the spiritual. All right, and so the rest of the verse, okay, it says, but the natural man receiveth not the things of the Spirit of God, for they are foolishness unto him. Neither can he know them, because they are spiritually discerned. 1 Corinthians 2:14. Okay, that is a very important one to remember. And I you know what? We're going to be unpacking that a lot in the future. I can see it already because there's a lot that goes into it. There's a lot more than that to it. So I wanted to go ahead and, bring that to everybody's attention, that if you see that, I don't want you to misinterpret that. Now, the enemy will sit there and think, ha, gotcha. No, no, we don't. So we let them think what they want to think. Because I know what's going on. Y'all who have been with me for a while, and you know what's going on too, because I am sharing these things on this journey with you. And it's also going to help somebody else who may be experiencing something similar at some point in their life. And so just to be trusting God is all we need to be doing, because that's who is guiding our steps and letting us know, okay, right? And so, thank you, Holy Spirit. I asked God, okay, so how much longer on that to level back out? And I got a number, but then I said, wait a minute, I have to remember what God told me. It's like, it's going to take as long as it's going to take. That's what he wants to hear. God said, there you go. But we cannot rush any of this. And so that's right. We cannot rush any of this. And so I've got more on the message for later on. Is that for episode 12 later on, I'm going to give y'all a heads up. So we're going to dive into, why human nature, we want to try to break a habit, right? And then we start trying too hard. And then we start trying to force something to happen that's going to happen naturally, and we learn to knock it off. And we stop falling for the briberies inside the matrix. Okay, I'm going to get ready to, I know, now 18 minutes in, but I had a very important message to get out. I know people are like, listen, y'all, those of you who know us, you see the title, right? You see the and more. So, but we don't all, I'm not going to go and more, like and more, and then the matrix and bribery, right? No, we're not going to do that. Okay, because I'm giving you the general topic that we're going to talk about, but the and more can come at any time during the videos, streams, what have you. So, and plus, I've also got y'all comments over here too that I'm monitoring as well, because we are engaging with each other here. Okay, we are engaging with each other. It is all inclusive. This is not just, listen, this is for y'all. This is the growing community of spiritual warriors for Christ. And so, now, as far as when you say could be demonic, well, yeah, of course, there's a lot of things out here in this world that are demonic. Oh, yeah. And so delayed reaction, okay, we talked about that, but that's a lot of what is occurring as this stuff levels back out in the biological realm of things. In the spiritual, we still good. We still good. And God is guiding our steps every step of the way. Thank you. Yes, it's a push plug. That's exactly what it's called for the drain. So, did I feel that I needed counseling or treatment for that shock? I wasn't shocked, because remember, she was a case study. I didn't expect that. We don't go around expecting the worst. But I look at the lesson, and I look at what else God revealed. That I am a forensic consultant because of my worldly credentials as well, but God qualified me because I'm able to match patterns, right? I'm able to analyze, yeah, down to the smallest detail and extrapolate that out to the bigger picture, okay, as an analyst. So I am able to help people with that knowledge. I'm not to sit on that. Remember, that's part of our talents and gifts, things that we've learned how to do to help others out here in this world. So God revealed to me also that as far as that drink spiking, because I'm going to tell you, that's not the first time that happened to me. And so that's why when I was sitting there, I was like, whoa, this feels way too familiar. Way too familiar, because as I don't know if you've gotten to that part yet in this book, Real Events of Narcissistic Abuse, y'all, but I do talk about a particular incident where there was a narcissist. Now we know that what he was. He was the first Jezebel I had noticed, because he was the one that had those glazed over eyes, very eerie look staring forward, as I was like, okay, hold up a second. What is that? What am I looking at? But at the time, okay, I wasn't ready. God knew I wasn't ready for what that was yet. But he definitely took notes on my behalf, so that when we did the inner work and the self-reflection, we just kind of went through. It's like, okay, because he's the one that broke a glass picture frame over my head. And so I went to the Women's Crisis Center. They went with me and they helped me. They're the ones who made me aware of the date rape drug that I learned more about in my forensic toxicology courses, if you will, a program. All right, I learned more about it. It's in my book that I have. And because I believe, GHB, and it's very difficult to detect that. It's so fast acting. The process of elimination for that substance is super fast. And these abusers out here know that. That's why that's their date rape drug of choice, because they know that by the time their target gets picked up by the ambulance or what have you, that date rape drug is gone. It is out of your system already, and you are unconscious. And so they know this. But see, that's the thing. Remember, narcissists always underestimate others. And so that Jezebel case study did not even consider the fact that, hello, my subconscious is awake now, right? God awakened me. He awakened up to all of that. And he's revealing spiritual truths, right? But somehow, the knowing that I got a master's in forensic toxicology, somehow that slipped her mind. Oh, I'm sure she knows I figured it out by now. If she hasn't, oh well, who cares? Doesn't matter. We all know the truth. Because I'm just telling y'all, it was way too familiar. All right? And so that's why God revealed it to me. This is why I didn't need to go to counseling. I am a consultant and coach, right? I am a trauma specialist. So who better to go to? Anywho, right? I'm a trained trauma specialist. So it's not like, because it did not re-traumatize me. No. All right? It just, God reminded me that I'm a forensic analyst, forensic consultant also. All right? Because of that knowledge and ability that is put on the inside by him. So I can help others who have been victimized by drink spiking learn what really happened. Because the story that they get told is all they got. And I guarantee you the story that they get told of what happened oh my gosh, it's going to have holes in it. Holes galore. And her story, that's For those who haven't heard it yet, because hello, she's trying to claim that I fell. while trying to do something down a set of carpeted stairs, but yet I have zero carpet burn? Come on now. Who's buying that? Right? Okay, so yep. No, I don't need to do a restraining order on that one because, right, yeah, no. Nope, because God told me He's taking care of it. I don't need to go through all that. And not out of fear or anything like that, but out of the fact that, exactly, God is going to take care of that. And that, yeah, we just keep her out of our stuff. Whenever I get the Hoover email, I ignore and I'll block. If it's a new email, I'll block it. I don't respond. No. So there you go. I did not need to do any of that after that went down because of the simple fact that I am a trained trauma specialist and forensic consultant / analyst, really. So I knew what really happened. So I got my own closure. But see, along with that, God revealed to me the reason it felt so familiar was because even some of my own family members did that to me growing up. Well, when I was an adult, old enough, right, going through that season of my life. And I remember a couple of times waking up in one of those beds. Yeah. And the only people that were in the environment were, that's right, a female and male H Jezebel. I'm going to tell y'all why they do that. They do it because they know that we, chosen one, don't go running to the M matrix over every little thing. We don't. We're not hypochondriacs. Before we understood the meaning of, yeah, that's got pineapple chunk, some little pineapple chunkies in there, y'all. So, excuse me. Because we don't over every little thing, right? We know what to do. We know how to take care of ourselves as adults. Because for those of us who played sports, right, and we are avid exercisers, we're not a stranger to minor aches and strain, things like that. And for whoever needs this, if you got that going on, minor aches and pains, mustard. All right, y'all. I'm not talking about, don't be putting mustard one time a day. Okay? If you got a sandwich or whatever it is you're eating, okay, for lunch, breakfast, dinner, one time a day. Now, if you do, like I will probably do, because I did that with breakfast, and then for dinner, if God leads me to it, I might make some regular, because that was honey mustard with breakfast. But if God guides me to it, to make some horseradish mustard to go with the beef, fine. But a little bit. Because that's what mustard has, that ability. It knows where to go. Because if you've got an ache or a pain, I'm telling you, I'm living proof of this. Because I had to ask God, why was I going after that honey mustard there in the very beginning, so hot and heavy? It's because God provided mustard. And it's not a coincidence that we got to start with faith the size of a mustard seed. Make that connection. Ooh, I loved it when we made that connection. So, right, it's not a coincidence. And so mustard, if you don't like mustard, I don't know what to tell you. But mustard has some natural, I guess you could say, it could be considered like an herbal remedy for minor aches and pain. And so God had me doing that. I was like, why? Because I was like, I'm not eating to please the flesh. I know that. I mean, yeah, honey mustard is good, but huh? I was like, why am I going after this so hot and heavy, putting, dipping French fries in it, sandwiches in it, I mean, whatever. I was just going after it. And he revealed it to me. I looked it up. And he revealed to me, he said, I had you do that so that when the parasympathetic nervous system starts to wake back up, the ache and pain won't be as severe. So God was already on it. See how God works? Come on now. And so it's a beautiful thing. But yes, the matrix will use. Yes. Oh, mustard is good with lamb. Thank you for that. I was wondering because I've heard about mint and things like that, but yeah, don't put the mustard on your skin. No, don't do that. I've had somebody ask me if you do that with it, and I was like, no. It's mustard, not aspartame. All right. So yeah, no, you want to ingest it because I will tell you, once God revealed that to me, and he said, I want you to do once a day or even maybe twice a day, depending. He says, I want you to get that mustard. So let's say Dijon mustard one day. And I'm sitting there because I don't recall. He switches it up. But I remember minor discomforts in a particular area. Nothing major, but he said, get some mustard in there. And it's like not even 5 minutes after a few bites with that mustard, gone. It knows where to go. That's my point. Once you get it in your system, it knows where to go. Absolutely. 100%. That's with all healing herbs and things. That absolutely. It knows where to go. Wherever it is, you might be having a little minor ache and pain. That mustard knows where to go. And so now let's dive into some examples of how the matrix likes to bribe people. Like I said in the description below. Right. In the description below where I saw it and I was like, oh my gosh, that's bribery. Right in our face. But we got so used to that kind of marketing, we never stopped to question it or to look a little bit deeper at the techniques being used. Because what do we learn, right, in narcissism? How these narcissists get turned into narcissists. All that special treatment, all that coddling, right? Oh, because they were a teacher, a doctor, a lawyer, whatever. Oh, and because they're elderly, they get this special treatment, that special treatment, and oh boy, do they expect it. Absolutely. They've got the entitlement mindset, right? That is a mindset. And so, right. And so we don't even stop to think about, and that is instilled over time through subliminal messaging. Remember, like I said at the beginning, social media platforms, the top 2 reasons they don't care about us, but they want our content. Well, actually, there's 3 reasons. They want our content, as in the podcast, because they slap their own ads on it. So we put more of our own in there now. So y'all will come across, oh gosh, real quick, while it's on my mind, y'all will come across episode 44 and 45 of the Truth Seeker one on Spotify, iHeart, Apple, Google, and several other platforms. That information is easily accessible on the website as well. That's in the link below, description below, the link to the website. And you go to CHA's Truth Seeker podcast page. Everything you need to know where the pre-records are going. All right. And so episode 44 and 45, we did some experimentation with inserting, like we do the CHA show and Motivational Monday now. Okay. And so, but in episode 46 on up, you're just going to see one at around the 15-minute mark or so. All right. So God said, yeah, we didn't like the 2 every 10 minutes, right? We didn't like the every 10-minute one. That, it just, yeah, no. So anyhow, That we're doing the peaceful side of marketing, by the way, y'all. We're just putting it out there, plugging it in, letting y'all know, because y'all don't know what we've got to offer you if we don't tell you, right? There you go. But the Matrix, oh boy, the Matrix will say, you get an email, right? We get them all the time, but we just didn't know yet. We didn't see them for what they were yet. Now we do. Brace yourself. Spend X amount on select company name items and receive a gift card for up to about $200. That's bribery. Come and spend maybe $500, $600, $700 on a particular device to get up to a $200 gift card. Only $200, really? But you want me to spend $700? They're bribing you. See, because that, you all remember that short event that I had to go to because I couldn't get a refund? Yeah, because they pulled that on me when I first signed up for the hotel rewards thingy. I only did that exactly so I earn points when I go on business trips and stuff. Why not? Tap into it. It's there. But I'm not letting it go to my head, and I don't care about the word privilege. I ain't looking for special treatment. Chosen ones don't do that. Chosen ones do not go around there looking for special treatment. But these narcissists do. Because they've gotten special treatment their entire life. So, of course, they're going to continue to look for it. And God's like, well, another one bites the dust. Right? Why don't they just reduce the price of the item to half off or something? Oh, no. They have to bribe people. That's the narcissism side of marketing. They have to bribe. You know, God says, yeah. Ooh, let's talk about that. What did God say about that? Oh, yeah. Let's look it up. Because bribery is a sin. Okay. Let's see. We got the word bribery. All right, let's see. Oh, in Job 15, verse 34. Let's see. It says, for the congregation of hypocrites shall be desolate, and fire shall consume the tabernacles of bribery. It's a sin. Not supposed to be engaging in bribery, right? Which we know that, okay? Because that's on our spirit. We just know that. But boy, what God had to say about it, again, I'm writing that down too. That's Job 15, 34. Right? For the congregation of hypocrites shall be desolate. What does desolate mean? Led astray. Right? Nothing else. It kind of like makes me think of a desert. And fire shall consume the tabernacle of bribery. Woo! And then here's another suggested one, and I think it's a good one to cover as well because it fits into the realm of why we don't engage in bribery. In other words, I'm not going to come to y'all and say, hey, I'll give you a discount every once in a while. I'll have that, like 30% off one of the courses or something like that. Like Chris said, why don't we just, right? Why don't we just reduce the price? Put it on sale. I'm not going to tell y'all, hey, come spend like, $1,200 at Consulting for Height Awareness and get a $500 gift card. I'm not going to do that. That's wrong. Exodus chapter 23, verse 8. Y'all know the word of God coming up at some point, right? Oh, yeah, you know it. The word of God coming up in this stream, in these videos at some point. Exodus 23:8. And thou shalt take no gift, for the gift blindeth the wise and perverteth the words of the righteous. Kind of makes me think of the love bombs. It doesn't mean that, chosen one, we don't do something nice for each other. For example, Chris, I'm going to share. Okay. Yeah, desolate, barren, or empty. Thank you. Yes. That's what that, yes. Thank you. Empty. Yeah. That makes that, okay, that better sense. Thank you. For the congregation of hypocrites shall be desolate, shall be empty. And so all those narcissists out there, congregation of them, because all of them are hypocrites, right? Okay. And so this is what I've got for the Patreon tier, $10 tier. It's the intermediate tier on the Patreon channel. That link is also in the video description below for quicker access for those who would like to further support the ministry and work. We highly appreciate it because everything goes back into the community, obviously. Okay. And so with that tier, the perks, because we do that, it's not bribery. Okay. This is good business practice. Like, I want to make sure that, okay, for the $5 tier, you get your general support and access to the exclusive content. The $10 tier, you still get your general support. And I wanted to add something, a little incentive, if you will, as a thank you. That's how we're looking at it. Okay, when we do these things, as a thank you. And so you also get a copy with that of my BTBW magazine with that $10 tier. Now, because fellow warrior here had taken the How the Trauma Bond is Formed course, you get a copy of the magazine along with that course as well. So because of that, I thought, okay, but I need to deliver on my promise of a perk with that tier. And I don't mean to be divulging personal information. I'm just sharing with you all that what I decided to do, God said, well, replace that magazine with a copy of your real PDF copy of your real events of narcissistic abuse. And so that's what we did. So we'll do things like that because I was feeling bad because I was like, he's already got a copy of the magazine. I've got to fulfill that promise. Okay, God is the promise keeper. And so I was like, I got plenty of stuff. What do I want to do? And then I realized that he hasn't gotten a copy of that book yet. So God said, go ahead and replace that perk with that. So if you all in the future do the same thing, just know I'm going to deliver on the perk. That's it. Somehow, some way, even if you've already got the magazine. Okay, so that's how that works. But we're not bribing nobody to do nothing. Because that's narcissism in action. And not only that, that's like they're almost forcing you. Feels forceful, don't it? Forcing you to go in there and spend X amount on select items that only they will allow in order to receive a gift card for up to. So it may not even be $200. You might only get a $100 gift card. You don't know that yet. But that kind of narcissism in marketing is everywhere out there, right? Especially this time of year. We are in November of 2023. I said, we don't fall for the bribery over and over again anymore either. And are they going to stop doing it? Of course not. Do you know why? Because it works. You know who is the easiest to bribe? Narcissists. Think about it. Chosen one, once we catch on to this stuff, we're like, oh, because see that event that I had to go to, I had booked that like a year prior before I realized it was, one of those. Yeah. Come and listen to this 2-hour speech for a $100 gift card. Yeah. I was like, oh. And so it was about, that's why I tried to get a refund and not go, but the 30-day mark in order to do that. Right? I got a great deal for. No, I didn't. And I knew they were going to try. Oh, they did. They tried to sell me a vacation package. Oh, they tried hard. A vacation package I don't need. Nah, because we are walking in our purpose. We're doing more of what we love. So I don't need a vacation from what we're doing. Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay. Good. Yes. Thank you. Yes. 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 Joe, 1534. Yeah, that is a good find. I know. God's an awesome God, right? And so right. Exactly. Kind of a love bomb. And empty promise marketing. The narcissism side of marketing is the empty promise marketing. Very good. Very good. Absolutely. Empty promises. False hope. Right? Future faking. But when you think about it, we have a lot of that goes on the world stage, right? Because narcissists are the easiest to bribe over and over and over again. They continue to fall for it because they are the deceived doing the deceiving. Chosen one. Once we become aware, that heightened awareness, right? Okay. So we're like, we're not going to fall for that. Because we see it for what it is. And so, yeah, that's just, yep, it sure is. Empty promise marketing. Because up to, right, you might just get a $50 gift card. Or a $20 gift card. Oh, wait, yeah, you only get the $200 gift card if you spend, let's say, at least $700, right? You gotta love how the matrix operates, y'all. Yeah, so I'm checking for comments and such. So I think that's really I'm gonna leave it on that. And I know that a lot of people won't even cover this kind of topic because it's just like wow. A lot of people won't even touch on it. They won't even notice that it's part of the game of narcissism. And I do not consider it good business practice. But because it works, of course, the companies are going to continue to use it. You know, it kind of reminds me of how many times we've had to cancel our 7 or 14-day free trial before we got charged, right? Because we checked it out, it didn't work for us, so we have to remember. Or we only needed to use it one time. Yeah, y'all, I know. I had the free trial on for the Patreon channel, but again, a narcissist came in and abused it. Yep. Exactly. They sure did. Another Jezebel. Yep, got in there. And you know what's intriguing? One of the only videos that they actually watched was actually it was a few where I talk about that Jezebel case study. Very intriguing that would be the only reason that they went on in there. Because I remember saying in one of our live streams that I share more about that on the Patreon channel, right? I mentioned some things that happened during that case study. And so that Jezebel wanted to know, because I guarantee you that one thinks at some point she's going to cross my path and going to try to one-upmanship on the other one. Not going to happen, because I've already identified that she also is a Jezebel. And so they've been since blocked from the Patreon channel. So we learn to recognize their behaviors a lot quicker, and we don't ignore them. That's really the whole thing. Okay, thank you, Chris. Because the book Real Events is a great read. Thank you. I try to keep everything as simple as possible for y'all. And I'm gonna go ahead and touch on something for you, Chris. I got your email, and I know where you're at because we've all been there, and there's probably some others who are at this season where there's a part of us that, because of the conditioning of the matrix, part of us, and because of our human nature, part of us still wants to see the human side of the narcissist, right? We still want to see that. So we go, okay, well, could it be like schizophrenia or some world label? And we go through that season. It's kind of like a ping pong season of back and forth. But we eventually come to realize that, you know what? Again, when I went through that purple book, I finally realized, hold on a second. This is not a personality disorder. This is not a mental disorder we're dealing with. This is so much more. It's so much bigger. I said, it's deeper than that. Because how is it that you can have that much crossover, aka comorbidity? It doesn't make sense. And then they're telling us that, oh, well, a person can be diagnosed with more than one. And I'm like, stop with the confusion already. Now, there are such things as drug use disorders, yet. Okay, those are real. Discernment. But as far as the worldview labels on things pertaining to narcissism and narcissists, it's all spiritual. It takes a while for us to get to that place because that's part of the radical acceptance. And I know that you've got that video off the website, y'all. We've got 5 Real Talk with God's Wisdom videos available for you on the website. They're not expensive. They are a great addition to your digital video bookshelf, if you will. All right? Because it's just to remind y'all that, no, you're not crazy. Okay? You are not the crazy one. And that you're going to go through these things. And this is one of them. Those of us who are spiritual, and we start to realize that the way that these narcissists behave, toddlers in adult bodies, is not normal. We know that. But the only thing about the world labels is we go through that season because we're just starting out learning, right? We're just starting out learning about, okay, hold up a second. All right, that behavior matches that. That behavior matches that. Okay, unfortunately, some survivors get stuck there. And they continue to believe that the abuser just has a personality or mental disorder. No, no, and no. Narcissism is a spiritual disorder. All the way around. And so once we get to that radical acceptance that that's what it is, we're able to put away. And not now do the term sociopath and psychopath do apply because those are parts of the demonic realm and the demonic ladder. They start out as a regular run-of-the-mill narc. Then once they can deceive, enough people over time, they get promoted to sociopath. Once they stay at that level and continue to pull off whatever shenanigans they're pulling off for a period of time, they get away with it long enough, no one ever catches on, they get promoted to psychopath. Now, usually by then, somewhere between a sociopath and psychopath, they become a Jezebel. Because only the sociopathic, only the one who are sociopathic and psychopathic are Jezebels. The regular run-of-the-mill are your part-timers. That's to help y'all put it in perspective spiritually. That is your spiritual demonic ladder. Now, when they reach psychopath status, they come across the chosen one, and they fail at taking us out because of our spiritual strength. Remember, those who are spiritually strong, the Jezebel cannot take them out. I don't care who the Jezebel is. They will not. And so, that's right. We've got another fellow warrior who knows that too. And, of course, they think they can because the enemy tricks them into thinking that they can. Because when you're spiritually strong, trusting God, and you realize that the devil is actually very weak physically, yeah, they are very physically weak. That the devil cannot do. No, he is not going to leave evidence, physical evidence. Oh, no. He prefers that we do it to ourselves. Never forget that one. All right, that's very important. But they do. They get demonically demoted when they fail at taking out a chosen one. And so that one, that case study got demoted back to sociopathic status. Now, I guarantee you, if she targeted, probably have another chosen one, she's going to fail. And so she's going to end up right back as a regular run-of-the-mill narc. But here's your caveat or nuance. That's the better word. Because in the beginning, before they get promoted, they start out as a regular run-of-the-mill. That's a part-timer. Okay? But when they get demoted, they're still a Jezebel, but they're just not able to do sociopathic or psychopathic things anymore. Because they won't have anyone to try them on at that point. And they'll be so physically weak to even try. The devil done them in. And this is what God revealed to me as to why the Jezebel where I was did not put salt in all of my homemade spices. They were too physically weak. And yeah, they were too physically weak. And they weren't even going to think about that because they're so trauma bonded to the P matrix that they were always distracted anyhow. But they also knew that would have been too obvious. Because they knew at the toxic workplace that I had picked up on those narcissists putting salt in my water. So they knew I'd be able to tell. So the devil did not allow them to attempt that or even try that. Now, as far as other stuff, I have no idea. But I did not. Let me tell y'all something. When we leave a toxic environment and we've had anything there, let's say open containers of spices or anything like that, food-wise, if it's been open, we leave it. If we're the ones leaving, leave it. Because you don't know what they might have done to it. That's not to scare anybody, but that's true. They do. They tamper with stuff. It's what sociopaths and psychopaths do. Or regular run-of-the-mills, not so much. But the sociopaths and psychopaths, the Jezebels, they will. If given the opportunity, oh yeah. And so we don't take anything that, food-wise that's been open, we don't take it with us. Because I'll tell y'all, when I got here, I got all new stuff. Spices. I've made my own new batches. That's right. God told me, it's like, don't you take none of that stuff with you that's been open. Now, there were a few things I did bring that were open. And after I thought a bit more about it, we ended up tossing them. Because I was like, well, that's my xanthan gum, though. He said, yeah, but you never know. right? So when it comes time, I'll get some more of that for baking. So thank you, Chris. I'm gonna put this on here because this helped. Listen, I know some of y'all still don't know. Listen, we all have trust. There's loads of good stuff on the website. Thank you. Because it's all for trauma healing and spiritual growth. Yeah, to help y'all. Seriously. And no, that's not bragging. That's just letting y'all know that we've got somebody who's sharing their honest opinion. Okay. Well, see, that's why I said I knew that you were, I know you're still new to it and you're learning and you're doing wonderful, everybody. Yeah, 2 years or so. That, yeah, I know that seems like a long time, but it's really not, because it does take, and I'll tell you, well, I'm still learning because it's spiritual, right? That's why I'm bringing y'all God's spiritual truth when He reveals them to me. Because I'm not going to stand up here and say I know everything about narcissism now. I don't. God's like, hold on a second, I got to show you something else. I'm like, oh boy. I get excited though about what God's going to reveal. So for those of you who haven't gotten there yet, keep going, because you eventually get to that place where, all right, God's going to reveal some more in the spiritual. All right. We get it like, okay, so what's He going to reveal today? We're excited because we want to connect dots. We want to analyze, right? There you go. So we're always excited about what God revealed. And so He revealed that to me about the bribery and the narcissism side of marketing. I was like, whoa, okay. Right there in plain sight, the whole time. And so listen, for those of y'all that come join Spiritual Warriors for Christ, this growing community, remember, we're spiritual warriors, because we could sense we got to that place, right, where we hold on a second, right? The worldview stuff, it will eventually stop resonating. But I know how y'all feel, because it's that pull, right? Yeah, it's that pull, because that's, for a while, that was like, okay, this makes sense. This is making sense. Okay, this resonates. I get this part. Okay. And the world conditioning and the empathy, chosen ones are empathy. It's all part of it. See, that's where you're at. Okay. You're at that crossroads, some of y'all, of having to figure out how to turn that empathy off and stop looking at them as humans. And start looking at them as the demonically possessed biological beings that they are. Okay? So there's your homework for whoever needs it, because that takes practice. Trust me, I know. I did not want, oh man, I can tell you the time. The talks that I had with God about that, like, oh, but in the Bible. He said, yeah, but Ephesians 6:12. I mean, we were back and forth. We weren't arguing or anything. He was just reminding me. I was like, oh, okay. I had to go through it too. I'm not telling y'all anything that I didn't go through myself. Okay, to get where we're at today. I went through it too. Oh my gosh. Especially, yeah, when I started to see more of it in the workplace, I'm like, hold up. What is this? I'm like, why do they all look like they are marching to the same beat, to the same drum? Well, now we know. They've all been perfectly programmed to do so. And I remember asking that very question. Like, so what? Is everybody out here a narcissist? And I was like, that doesn't sit right. I said, that can't be right. And that's when God started revealing the spiritual aspects. And so that came about around the time that I started the devil and narcissism space on Quora. But that's how that developed, because I was like, okay, we're starting to see. And then how my first book, okay, that's right, you all. In the first book, One Rose Tinted, One Clear Lens, How Narcissism is the Work of the Devil. All right, that's the season that this came out. when I was going through that, hold up, God led me back to Romans chapter 1, started connecting dots. And I was like, okay, hold up. Yeah, this is why the worldview labels and stuff aren't making any sense to me anymore. Because the spiritual, remember 1 Corinthians 15:44, right? We're sown the natural body, but we're raised the spiritual body. Remember, when the Holy Spirit activated, all we could do was keep rising in spirit. Okay, that's how we get stronger in spirit. Right? We keep rising. And it's just like God's revealing all, right? So we are looking around and we're seeing, observing more and speaking less. And we're starting to see all the same behaviors. And I'm like, okay, whoa. But I knew in my spirit that everyone could not possibly be a narcissist because I'm not one. Now, was I a little bit narcissistic in my earlier years? We all were. So I'm part of recognizing the moot in our own eye. Like I've shared with you all, for those who haven't heard it yet, I remember when I was in my early 20s chasing that modeling dream. I'd call back home and all I would talk about is my stuff. Oh, yeah. And then I got corrected. And I'm glad that I did because right. I was like, oh, that's true. I was told, how come you never take a moment to stop and ask how we're doing? Oh. So that reminds me, y'all. Let me know how you're doing. All right? I know that it's tough. We get it. But let me know how y'all are doing. Hello, Michael. Welcome. Okay. We are waiting on your book. Oh, yeah. Can the demoted not go back up the ladder back to full time? Depends on their age. It depends on, exactly. It depends on if they still have enough stamina. See, if they are aging, like elderly, no. They will not make it back up to the psychopath level. But if they're maybe a 30-year-old that got demoted, oh yeah, they can go back up, but they can also go back down. Okay? That's how it works for them. Whereas for us, chosen ones, when God elevates us, that's it. That's one direction. Right? That's it. God's just going to keep on elevating, restoring 1,000-fold in many ways. I'm going to share y'all. Oh, gosh. Let me share with y'all. Okay, yeah. Thank you, Holy Spirit, for giving me permission because it gives y'all a great perspective how God does this. Right? And so I'm sitting here, major dietary reset, right? Exactly. Because it's necessary. The healthier we eat, the faster we heal. And oh, that's so true. Over this last week, I'm telling y'all, God told me this morning, he said, honey, child, he said, quit focusing on that area in your mind. Because before you know it, you know how I hasten things on my time, right? He said, I want you to keep on working, keep being mindful. But he said, get your mind off of that particular area. Focus on the internal, and the external will follow, right? I'm like, yeah. Because he's reminding me of the message he gave me to give to y'all about that. When you are trying to, let's just say you deviated a bit from your healthier diet. I did. It's my bad. I take it. Listen, I'm holding myself accountable. So, yeah. And God said, I want you to stop focusing on that particular area, okay, of the body, yes. He said, get that out of your mind. Keep working. He said, because before you know it, that's going to be exactly where you need it to be. I'm like, okay. So that's what God revealed to me today. That I need to quit focusing, because when we focus the most on something, what happens? Right, the more we attract to it. So in other words, if I'm trying to reduce, right? I'm trying to reduce inside. I keep focusing on it. What's it going to do? It's going to keep appearing to, right, to increase instead of reduce. So God says, stop focusing on that. So, okay. Well, Chris, I know, but don't psych yourself out about going back to work tomorrow. Okay? Don't do what I did. Please, please, please. And I know many others have. Don't psych yourself out about it. Here's a tip. For those of you who may have taken a short leave or you were on a vacation from a job and it happens to be a toxic workplace, or you've identified at least a couple of narcissists, okay, listen, here's my tip. It's all about changing that thinking. So you may be going back to work tomorrow. Yuck. So you're already setting the tone for, yeah. So here's the action steps. Don't think in terms of yuck. Let's turn that negative into a positive. So you're going back to work, right? Okay? Start telling yourself, okay, you know what? We're in observation mode, right? You don't have to turn them into case studies if you don't want to. Ask God if He wants you to do that. That helps us get through a lot of it. Those of us who are assigned that, to turn them into case studies. So if God assigned you to do that, He'll let you know. But if not, if you don't need to, but there's something that's still there, God needs you to learn. Maybe about yourself. Maybe some new skills that they did not train you for, but God needs you to learn outside of work for your purpose. That's a big one right there. Somebody needs that one. Okay? So the other part is, remember this. And I know for many of you, the reason God still has you where He has you in the workplace is He needs you to learn how to get control of yourself, like I said the other day. Because you're not going to be able to get control of yourself if you are not exposed to those fiery darts. Because you have to do a mental and physical thing intentionally. Right? Yes, you do. Because we have to, think about it. In order for us to overcome those triggers and to get control of our own emotion, the best place to do so is in such an environment where you're getting that thrown at you. What are we in? A spiritual battle, right? So in order for us to get stronger in spirit and become stronger warriors to be able to thwart those fiery darts left and right, we got to be around them. So yes, you can fully heal in a toxic environment. Many of us did. Oh. Okay. Want to use that one to expose. Thank you, Michael. Okay. Yeah, a strategist at work. Okay, there you go. There you go, Chris. You're in the field studying the situation. There you go. Change that mindset. That's what I want to see. There you go. Come on now. That's what God needed to see. Change that mindset. Change that mindset. There you go. Going to go with the flow. There you go. Take those two statements right there, Chris. Journal those. Remind yourself. Practice tonight. Get that in your subconscious right there. And that's for some of y'all too, for whoever else needs to write that down. Write that down. Change that thinking. Right? You going into the toxic workplace, you know that you got narcissists there, right? Okay, now you know what? Let's turn this into a research project. Like you're in the field studying the situation. There you go. Exactly. Because that helps you learn how to deal with it also. Because they are very predictable, right? Oh gosh, they are very predictable. Yep. Okay, that's true, Michael. That is, yep. Studying them like crazy. You experimented. I think we all go through a little phase of that. And they still have no desire to repent. Of course not. They don't want anything to do with repenting. Because in order to repent, we have to do what? Take responsibility for our own action, right? We have to admit that we messed up. We have to admit that we made a mistake. We have to learn, oh, that's a sin. We got to knock it off, right? They don't want, no, because, and you're right about that. There is no hope left for the narcissist, especially the aging one. When they get past a certain age, if they don't change. Okay. There's another one. Practice putting on the armor of God. That's right. Chris, I've got a generic armor up prayer on the Patreon channel. Okay. It's real simple. I combined some of Ephesians 6 and Psalm 91. It's very simple to remember. But since the short and longer version have been up on the Patreon channel, I have added, along with the shield of faith and the sword of the Spirit, the word of God, I've added the shoes of the gospel and the belt of truth, the helmet of salvation, breastplate of righteousness. Because you'll hear the putting on the helmet of salvation, breastplate of righteousness, as I take up the shield of faith, the sword of the Spirit. Since then, I went back in and was like, oh, I need to add for myself. That's what I do every morning, that generic every morning. And I highly encourage y'all to practice doing it before you go out. If you're in a home and you have a bedroom and before you leave that bedroom. If you're in your apartment or whatever, I had to get that reminder because I got a little bit complacent there. Okay. Yes, I did, but God got us back on it because he reminds me. I grabbed my protein shake, right, to go on my walk. Or let's say I'm going on the treadmill, but the other day, it happened. Sure enough, I have my keys and my sunglasses on. I'm going to go for the walk. I grab my protein shake, my phone. I'm headed to the door, right? God stopped me. He said, hold on a second. He had me put everything on my little table over here, and he's like, put them sunglasses up. He said, put that armor on. I kid you not. Okay, you interviewed the self-aware one. They have no idea what's about to go down. Mass separation all at once. You just reminded me of Job 15:34. Where, we talked about that with the bribery. Mass separation all at once. Well, they're already scared. I mean, they are already toddlers in adult body living in fear, so no surprise there. And their fear and anger will make them abuse the last one to leave them. The last of their enablers will suffer the most, unfortunately. Yes, you're welcome, Chris. Yeah, they send the title of they're oh my gosh. You might find them. Oh, I know we got a lot of content going on over there too. I'm trying to recall if it was in 2022 that I put those up. One of them might be 2021, and then the other one might be 2022 when I came in with a shorter version. But you'll find them because it says armor up somewhere in the title. And just know to add the shoes of the gospel and the belt of truth right in there. And the last of their enablers will suffer the most, unfortunately. You know something? Yeah, that's just the unfortunate truth. But yeah, we see it. And I do believe this is why God has awakened us at this time. I mean, many of us have been awake for quite some time. Yeah. We have. But I believe this would be the time for why and why God has us where he has us. All of us. He has us placed in certain areas for a reason. And listen, if you need to know what that is, I don't have the answer for that. I may have some suggestion. You know, like I've said before, if you're still in a toxic workplace or a toxic environment, there's something either about yourself or there that God needs you to learn. Skill set. Maybe there's something else on the inside of you that he needs you to work on. Because I can pretty much guess that it's not going to be red flags of narcissistic behavior. You probably already got that figured out, right? Okay. So it's likely going to be something in the spiritual and in the physical. Could be a new skill set of sorts that you'll need for your purpose. I mean, there's all kinds of, reason. But for you specifically, only God has that answer. I don't. I only have a few possibilities. Because I know that was my situation at different times as to why I was where I was during that season. Like with in that last environment, what God had to reveal to me how these narcissists are like vultures when one of their own is passing away. Right, there you go. Just search it. Absolutely. Yes, I have heard of him. Yes. A year and a half. Yes, I have heard of him. Nothing wrong. I'm personally not a fan of the potty mouth. That's me. And so I know I slipped up one episode, but we try very, very hard not to engage in that kind of language. That's just my thing. But I understand what you're doing, and we're on the same side. Okay, it's just I don't like to listen to the the cursing. I'm not a fan of it. Because we do go through the seasons, yes, and I understand that. Listen, yeah, I understand that we all go through those seasons, especially during the beginning, right? We're like, what the just happened, right? Okay, so but over time, as we do heal and grow, and we are being reborn again, right? That spiritual rebirth, becoming a new creature, right? We got to put away the old. So we got to go through that, though. Like in video number 1, yes, you're going to go through a little bit of animosity, anger, and you're going to go through those things. You got to overcome the initial shock. That takes a while. And then you've got, you got a little bit, the anger that we experience it's not the same anger as theirs. It's more of a, oh my gosh, how could they be like that? How could they do that to us, right? because we're still thinking of him as a human being. Yeah. Oh, he knows it? Okay, good. I didn't know he was aware of that. Okay, well, good. Good. Okay. Okay. Thank you. I'm glad to hear that he's taking the initiative to work on that. Awesome. Okay. Thank you. Oh, and I will continue to say prayers that he overcome that as well. Okay. Found the armor up prayer. Awesome. Right. It is very ungodly to use. I know. It does take practice, though, if you are under stress. I do get that. Yes. If we are under stress, it right. Or if you're still easily triggered. Never forget that one. Yeah, right. If we're still easily triggered, right. But there does come a time that we move past that, especially once we're fully healed. When we're fully healed and we're able to obtain and maintain emotional regulation, it gets easier to get rid of the potty mouth. So I'm not bad mouthing him. I hope y'all know that, because we are on the same team, pushing back against narcissists. It's just as a preference for things to listen to. And so we eventually move past the worldly thing, and we start to see in the spiritual thing behind it. And so, yeah. Okay. But yeah, everything takes practice. All of the new things that we have to, oh gosh, what are we doing, right? We are relearning how to live in God's reality, right? So of course we have to unlearn and relearn. And so as we're relearning, right, it's a lot. And so it does take practice. That's why I tell y'all, when we learn how to turn off our empathy switch and manage it and control it, maintain that calm, no matter what is thrown at us, no matter what's going on out there. And I know now, Michael, for you, I get the hope. For any of y'all that are in a custody battle with a narcissist, we understand, okay? And we know that's tough, because we know that the system is not, is often not, I don't really care for the word fair, because life isn't fair, but it's not spiritual. So it doesn't, it's not spiritual. And so it doesn't recognize that the non-narcissist is the good parent, oftentimes. So we pray for all of you. We pray for all of you. Now, if you've got a fantastic lawyer, good. And so here's a tip I have given for any of you, because I had this question asked. I do have a criminal justice bachelor, so we understand how the system works. That the best thing to do, if you are called to testify, chosen one, and their lawyer is going to ask leading questions, you'll be able to pick up on them. Now, here's what I do know, okay, that you're allowed to do. And I learned this at one of my residencies too, from from someone who actually worked in the clinical side of things, and she testifies a lot. And so she told me, she's like, yeah, so when you get up there to testify, and their lawyer asks a question in such a way that you don't even know where, you're like, you can't answer that. It's okay to say, I mean, it's like, you know what they're talking about, but you're unable to answer it the way that they worded it. So you're allowed to ask them, or tell them, I'm unable to answer that the way that it was stated. Is there some way you can reword that? You're allowed to do that. And then also, if they ask you a question about something that is outside of the realm of things, scope of things, you are allowed to tell them that you don't have an answer for that. Yes, you are. And then also, the other tip I'll give you all is that if you're called to testify and they are asking you questions, simple, let's just say direct question and not leading question, which is much better, but don't offer more information than what the question is asking. That's the huge tip right there. If you are called to testify on that stand during custody or divorce, whatever it is that may be going on with that narcissist, and their lawyer is asking you, simple, direct question, short and to the point. Do not offer TMI. In other words, too much information. Seriously. So you can, if you know somebody in your area, your lawyer can help you with that. Your lawyer can help you practice that if need be. Or they might have somebody that they can send to you to help you practice that. Like they'll play the role of the abuser's lawyer, right? Asking you some direct questions. And so you can practice not giving too much information. Let's say you have a friend you can trust, or a family member who's not a narcissist that you can trust. Okay? Yeah, okay. Ask them to help you. Do like a mock trial thing so you can practice that. Because I know for us, chosen ones, before we learn, let me tell you, we used to, the old version of me did, absolutely, like I shared yesterday evening or yesterday afternoon, when somebody would give us a compliment before we knew it was a love bomb. Let's say somebody says, "Hey, I like your I like your lipstick." "Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's Revlon and it's color this. Don't do that on the stand. Well, we learned to stop doing that anyway. I just made myself laugh. So there you go, you all. That everything takes practice. I mean, all the things that we learn and new things that we learn, we've got to put them into practice, right? Put them into action. When you put them into action, that's practicing. And so it does take strong willpower, absolutely, to refrain from, saying certain things that we got so used to saying, like say we dropped something. Here's something for you all who may be at that season that you are working on cleaning up your speech. Yes, we have to clean up our speech. We all do. Hey, I was a truck driver once, okay? So, we have to go through those seasons and we learn. And you have to remember social influence too, because before we knew that we were dealing with narcissists out here, it rubbed off on us, didn't it? Yeah, because they would always say, one of their favorite words is the F word. They always drop F-bombs. And now I'm like, okay, listen, we got to move past that. Because I will tell you, that toxic pizza place that I worked at, that's what they did. And customers put in some complaints, rightfully so, because, the narc team over there, them dudes, they kept saying the F word every now and again over something. Customers coming in, and I'm like sitting here going, wow. Wow. And when that manager quit, that general manager quit, and the one who's one of us, an empath, she got promoted to general manager position. Right, she would get on them about it. Like, y'all need to watch it with the F-bombs. Got customers, right, complaining about it because it's very unprofessional, and it's not. Yeah, that's ungodly. Exactly. So we learned that, okay, because narcissists, that's one of their favorite things. Not all of them, but the majority of them. And so we learned, okay. Now, for other words, like one that rhymes with it. All right. Yes, y'all know what I'm talking about. Here's your tip to outgrow saying that word. Like, say when you drop something or you walk out the door and you forget something and you want to go it, right? Instead of saying that word, say crap. All right, there you go. That's your training. Because over time, you're going to want to stop saying crap because that's just a crap word. All right. So you find the non-cursing form of the word and use it in its place. So for you who may be struggling with the F word, use the word fudge. F-U-D-G-E. Fudge. Because over time, you'll be like, well, wait, I'm going to go get me some fudge. Okay. All right, so now the word that rhymes with sass, okay, that one also means donkey. So guess what word you can use instead of the one that rhymes with sass? Donkey. Say, man, that dude was a donkey. Over time, you'll be like, man, why am I saying that? I'm telling y'all, these are your tips. Just a little bit of coaching right here. Coaching you out of that potty mouth for those who are at that season. All right? You want to write these down. All right? For the word it, you want to say crap. For the word, for the F word, you want to say fudge. Okay? For the word that rhymes with sass, you say donkey. Because I'm going to tell y'all, these words that you replace the curse word with, over time, you're going to feel silly saying them. And so you're going to naturally stop saying them. So let's see if I can think of another one. Oh, a donkey hole. There you go. Yeah, y'all gonna crack yourself up. Come on now. All right, and then let's see. Okay, for the one that's bull it, right? Yeah, I'm not talking about I'm not talking about no weapon. I'm talking about bull. Okay. Say bull honky. That's bull, H-O-N-K-E-Y. Bull honky. Yep. I want to practice that. See, I'm trying to think because I have not been using curse words. I slipped up here recently, but we're good now with the one that rhymes with sass. We're human. It happened. It was kind of like a heat of the moment thing when I was describing being pulled down a set of stairs. Anyhow, I'm trying to think of another word, but that's 4 that I can come up with. Well, they are the most common ones, though, when you think about it. So you say bull honky, crap, fudge, and donkey. in place of those. Yeah, and then right for the sass hole, you would say donkey hole. There you go. Yeah, and you will. It sounds silly, but listen, it helps. It works. It's what I did. All right, that's why I'm giving it to y'all. That's how I did it. Yeah, naturally over time. Laughing, making my eyes water. That's a good thing. But but yeah, it's gonna help y'all overcome that, so that you can clean up your speech. Because I will tell you that those of you who are called to do what we're doing, maybe content creating, public speaking, for public speaking, you do need to have cleaner speech. It's called professional speech, more or less, okay? What's viewed as professional speech. But basically, those who are professional out here, right? Those of us who are professionals in our field, we go out here and we get on that stage and we give a message to somebody else's audience. The last thing you want to do is be fumbling with curse words. That's a turnoff for a lot of people. Naturally so. Now, if they are a comedian, that's a different story. Still doesn't make it okay, but we're talking two completely different industries here. Because I am a faith-based motivational public speaker for hire. So God said, okay, he said, I know you are. And so that's a big part of learning how to clean up our speech. And then now he taught me a lesson that it's not a good idea to share the Jezebel case study story when I'm speaking to somebody else's audience, because I get fired up with that. So we work on it. But as far as the other testimonies that I can offer for inspiration, we good. That if y'all read Real Events yet, there's way more than what's in there that I got. God just had me put those specific ones there because those are the ones he brought to my remembrance at that time to write the book. But we have a lot more that goes to that for another book. So I have a lot of things to share to motivate and inspire other audiences. Yeah. To inspire them to keep going because God had great things for them. And that trauma healing is 100% possible. Many of us are living testimony. Right. I'm glad you like that one. Bull honky. Yes. And that's what I started using to overcome saying the other word. And it does get easier. I'm telling y'all it works. Because for as long as I have been doing these videos starting in June 29th of 2021, and I only slipped up a few days ago or a week ago or something, whatever, in one of our CHA shows, I believe it was, yeah. So I don't know. I don't think I have a way to go back and edit that and go bleep. Maybe they do. I don't know. But it was just a slip up. It's all good. And I tell y'all, I did not mean to do that. That was not intentional at all. I laugh at myself. But see, y'all, because we're not perfect, okay? We're not perfect. But we do right. And I know I could use my own advice, but like I said, it was a heated moment thing. So that let me know, okay, I need to learn not to let myself get into a heated moment, because that's oftentimes when oops occurs, right? But sometimes, the Holy Spirit just gets going. It's on fire. And so if I am sharing a personal testimony in that sense, then I need to not be so fired up because that slip. Yeah. No, we're not beating ourselves up. We're laughing at ourselves about it because we are human. Right? Okay. Because behind the scenes, it's just kind of instinctive, y'all. When I started getting up here doing videos, it just became instinctive to know that don't curse. Cursing is really not. It's not attractive. And I know we don't walk by sight or anything like that on outward appearances. But what I'm talking about when I refer to attractive speech is what we're talking about. Cursing is not attractive speech. And so we all have to work on that. So there's your tips for that, for anybody who needs it. And then also remember early on when, if you are on vacation or, oh, yes, that's a good point, that cursing is cheap language. Yeah. I hadn't thought of it that way before, but see, there you go. Exactly. It is. There you go. I like it. Okay. Good way to put it. You see, in the growing community of spiritual warriors for Christ, right? This is how iron sharpens iron. I hadn't thought of it that way. Right. It cheapens us. Right. There you go. Because see, God put a lot of value on the inside of his chosen one. That's right. And so we don't want to devalue ourselves by continuing with that, right? Okay. But just, take your time. My suggestion is to start with one word at a time. Because if you try to, depending on how many curse words you use, if you try to replace all of them at once, that's going to be, and you'll be surprised. So if you start with the it one and use the word crap, stay with that because repetition is what does it. And so over time, you walk out and you forgot your sunglasses. Walk on in. Oh, the other word for that is darn. D-A-R-N. So you could say crap or darn. Darn it. Right? That's like the non-curse form. So you could say that if you prefer, whichever one you like best. But then it's going to get to, because this is going to help you overcome triggers too. Right? You walked out the door, you meant to grab your sunglasses. And so now you're mad at yourself. You just triggered yourself. Oh, right? A little bit of that anger, right? So it will get to that point where if you do that, I laugh. If I walk out the door to go for my walk and I realize that I have forgotten my protein shake, which I typically don't, but I'm giving you an example, I'm going to go, you silly. Come on back and get it. Learn to laugh at yourself. That helps you overcome that. Seriously. Because it's like, okay, hold on a second. I'm going to go for my walk. I always take this. What? Laugh at yourself. That's right. No matter what it is. After all, what do we do when we are looking for our sunglasses and they're on the top of our head? We bust out laughing, right? Well, we should. Now, the narcissists don't, because they won't feel embarrassed. they'll get mad at themselves. We don't do that. We learn to overcome that, because that'll be a trigger. Could be. But we don't want to let the enemy do that to us. And so there's your tips for working on that. As for the and more parts, okay. I was not planning on a 2-hour go with the let's just chat, but hey. Yep. Silly Billy. That rhymes. So there you go, y'all. Any other question before we wrap it up and such? So because we have done a 2-hour let's just chat and I have some other things to do, we will not be going. Yeah, we will not be coming on later. This is Thursday, right? Okay. We will not be coming back on in an hour with the CHA show today. We will do that tomorrow. So, like I said, we'll go to 2 hours when I see y'all, interacting with each other and then with us. It's what it's all about. Let's just chat, right? We give the messages, we talk about it, we get it out. And I appreciate you all sharing your circumstances, because it helps others see and really know that they're not alone. That's the big part of trauma healing right there. Oh, it's so important that they know they are not alone, because if they think that they're alone or they feel so alone, that makes it a bit more challenging to overcome these things. So we're out here. If you spot additional spiritual warriors for Christ, let them know about consulting for heightened awareness. Thank you in advance. And all of the things that we have for you all. And, you've shared the 1.5 years, 2 years, 3 years. Yeah, it takes a while. This is not something that you're going to learn overnight. No, it doesn't work that way. And even when we're fully healed, right? Let's see. Oh my gosh, mine started. Oh gosh. I got to do the math, believe it or not, because we're in 2023. Okay. And we're still learning. All of us are together, okay? We cannot possibly know it all yet. Oh gosh, no. We can't possibly know everything anyway. That's just not going to happen. There's too much. But as far as God's spiritual truth and what's really going on with us dealing with the narcissist out here, yeah. I want to say it was wow. I'm going to do that again. Hold on a second. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. When I turned that ex-psychopath roommate into a case study for, it was the end. It was around, I want to say it was around, I graduated in undergrad in 2016, which is 7 years ago, in June of 2016. Went down there to be the live-in maid, if you will. And then, okay, so it's been 6 years since the final trumpet call, but it's been 8 years or more in the spiritual awakening. Actually, no, the spiritual awakening started in undergrad, closer to 10 years. I just didn't know. That's right. I didn't know that's what it was. Because I was 35 when I went to enroll. Then when I got on campus in 2013, after my first online quarter, moved to High Point so I could go on campus, be hybrid, on campus and online. And so nine and a half years in the spiritual awakening. So close enough to 10. We're getting there. Just a few months away, it'll be 10 years in the spiritual awakening. So, yeah, long time. It's ongoing, y'all. And so, yeah, 6 years of learning so far. That's just to let y'all know that you're not alone and that we're still going forward. We're still learning. And so this is why I can bring you all a lot of I'm not the only one, but I can bring y'all a lot of that spiritual behind it, the truth. And that's going to help you understand better what we're dealing with. So I thank everybody for your patience as I'm working that out. Yeah, and we're not done. That's why I tell y'all that the spiritual awakening, once we're in it, it's ongoing. So I'm just giving y'all that perspective, how long it's been for us. And that we didn't start coming out with all of this until just a few years ago. Well, starting on Quora 4 years ago. So there you go. All right, we've been at it for a while. And we're here to help you all get through it as well. You're not alone. So welcome to the growing community of Spiritual Warriors for Christ. That's right. I am Michelle Dickey, your host for CHA's Let's Just Chat, streaming on the YouTube channel, Narcissism and Cognitive Dissonance, where trauma healing and spiritual growth are front and center. Trauma healing and spiritual growth occur with God's wisdom, basic scientific facts, tried and true technique, and more here and at CHAAcademyBTBW.com. The link to that is also in the video description below for quicker access. And y'all can always check out the things we have available at the Academy for you to help you level up your trauma healing and spiritual growth. Sending love and light to all fellow warriors. Thank you for watching, listening, and for your support. Until next time, let's show some gratitude to the Heavenly Father, and you keep being you. In Jesus' name, amen.